Gonna go over to Rumble, kick Rumble in the butt, get past that pre-roll they like to run, that I need to change, by the way. So I apologize to anybody on Rumble for that. I have not updated that in a while, so apologize. I may have my light too bright, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so just going to be a quick stream. I got dog obedience class, and I just got done getting soaked in the rain here. We've had insane rains for about the last 12, 14 hours. Tornado warnings. Woohoo! Fun, fun. I'd still rather this than freeze my butt off and have snow. All right. Hello, YouTube and Rumble. How's it going, everyone? I hope your weather is a little bit better than ours here. Sorry, let me grab my drink. Yeah. Boy, whew. Just a quick stream here. I'm not going to call it an emergency stream or something weird. You may hear my phone go off because my father is driving to get his license and make sure he can keep driving. If he doesn't pass, I may have to leave and run clear out there and get him and drive him home. So we'll see how this goes. Getting up there in age. I think he'll get it. I think he'll be able to drive day only is what I'm thinking is going to happen. So we'll see. So I have to have my notifications on. I apologize for that. We're just going to hop right in here as I got a limited time. I just wanted to discuss the Kash Patel, Dan Bongino statement they made. And it's created kind of a, not to use hyperbole, a backlash, a firestorm, whatever. A lot of people feel a little betrayed. I mean, first off, we have a little bit of a problem where Dan Bongino, Dan Bongino is not the biggest problem. I mean, people are still waiting for him to do something. He came in later. Kash Patel, though, really said a lot of big bull crap. You think Trump was out there throwing out big stuff. Oh, I will do this. Kash Patel said, day one, I will close down the FBI. I know some of it could be a hyperbole, but he wasn't running for an election. He said this stuff, which really made his confirmation a little bit tougher to get through. I don't know. It just smacks to a lot of people of either he is not as genuine as he said, which I really don't want to think so, because been a fan, honestly, of Kash Patel for a long time. I liked what he said. I liked how he acted, but he has suddenly been much more, I don't know, not the bulldog in the room we all thought he was going to be. I'm sure there's some good stuff going on, but not the stuff that he said was going to happen. And him and Bongino both, whether, depending on which one you're talking about, through different levels of shade at the Epstein ending himself thing. And it just seems like this statement here we're about to play did not, I don't know, it didn't rub people the right way. Sorry, let me find the one I wanted to play. Is this the one? No, come on. Sorry, guys. You know how it is when you're going through stuff. I think it's this one. Yeah, okay. But I got a couple other things to look at, but the way they said it, it just seems disingenuous. I believe this is the one where it has both of them. And a lot of people are saying that body language-wise, they look a little off. Patel, not so bad, but Bongino, either he is flippin' tired as hell, or, man, that man looks like he's just stiff, almost under duress. And I don't want to say that, but it has given people pause just watching him. And that's why, I mean, there's even body language experts talking about this, which we'll talk about here in a second. And body language experts, honestly, I do not take a lot of stock in them because I've seen them come out and say something and get stuff totally wrong. But it's worth discussing. So let me pop on my, as somebody's described, overly large headphones, but I really like them. You know, they have a disconnect issue. All right, like right now. Okay. They should play automatic here in a second. I'm just going to boot them harder. There we go. All right, so this is over from Fox News. This is Maria Bartiromo. I will puff her up as soon as I get to bringing me down a little bit. There we go. All right, so nobody wants to stare at a bigger me anyway. You know, I'm going to move me enough to try to get me out of the image enough not to bug you guys any more than I need to. All right, so, by the way, for some people don't know, if you are going to have stuff for fair use, you do need to have you on the screen most of the time. Not all the time, but it does help. All right, so I'm going to bring it up here. Let's see how the sizing looks on my other screen. It ain't going to be too bad. You don't have to see all this, but okay. This is Maria Bartiromo talking to these guys, and it just seems off. Oh, I'm covering James Comey. Ooh. Better than covering Maria. All right,
you said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you...
Look at Bongino. He just has this look of, I do not want to friggin' be here. Seriously, look at him. He looks like somebody's holding him hostage. I mean, maybe he's tired. Maybe he just wants to be, he's pissed off, wants to be out doing the job or doing something else. I get it. But he really looks unhappy to be there and stiff compared to the way, if you ever watch Bongino's show, pay attention to Dan through the past, it doesn't look like him. He's much more loose, much more self-assured, much more, I mean, he's been a Secret Service agent before. He's run ops before. He's done a lot of good, heavy-duty stuff. So for him to be as stiff and looking as miserable as that, it's a thing. All right, so let's just move on. And by the way, I'm going to push back against Patel already because he's talking about, oh, I've seen all this. Dude, how many times could somebody win the lottery before all the stuff that just happened to go wrong at once in a small window of time? A small window of time, all this ding, 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 ding went wrong at once. I'm sorry. Even a lot of Democrats don't believe it. So, I don't know. All right, let's play on here.
See one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Dan just looks uncomfortable.
He killed himself.
I mean, look at it.
You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work.
All right, now here's my biggest problem. Okay, this is my largest problem. Both of these guys have been screeching about transparency, right? Transparency, transparency. Bring honor back to the FBI. Transparency, transparency. My God, they said it as much as Democrats talked about democracy. These guys used transparency. And they railed against things being secret and held back from the American public. And now they're both going, we've seen all the documents. We've seen the whole file. We've seen all the evidence. That's great. Why aren't we seeing it? Why is that evidence not out there for us to see? I have to ask a big question. Why in the name of Zeus's butthole is the Epstein file still classified and hidden from America? Why is it, I don't care if it's Dan Bongino or Kash Patel. I don't care if it's Jesus himself. Yes, I'm sorry for saying that. That may have gone too far, but I want to see the evidence. Why do we have to take anybody's word when these people ran on transparency? What is it with Jeffrey Epstein, his ending himself, that has to be kept from the people still? This is dumb. If you have to take a couple of redactions of names, fine. Of the jackass, the jackass guards who fell asleep or oopsied, and the camera operators or whatever went, oopsie. Anybody turned their back on the cameras went out and nobody said anything? Bull. Why are we taking anybody's word for this? Guys that ran on transparency and getting things out to the people, then we should be seeing it. We shouldn't have to take their word for it. And that is I think that is rubbing more people wrong than these guys coming out and saying, Epstein did it to himself. They would that isn't the biggest. It's a bother to a lot of people who really followed these guys and believed in them more. But it's the transparency. We saw the file, so we're telling you, take our word for it. That's the same bullshit the left has been pulling with us for a long time, and the deep state in our government. So, yeah. All right, let me chat here. Hey, Ryan, what's up? These things are wildly complex. I don't know. When you get to that level and lives are on the line. Yeah, I get it, Ryan, but I get it, but what are we saving here? Why is it? It just seems like everything around Epstein is blocked. Why is the file on him offing himself not released to the public? Why is the Epstein files and lists still not anything being released? You know what? Let's say they're going through thousands and thousands of videos, thousands of transcripts, thousands of tapes, thousands of documents. Yeah, so what? You don't have to hang on to all of it and release it all at once. If you've gone through even a couple hours of stuff, why aren't you releasing bits? That would satisfy most people if they released something. They're releasing zero, and it just starting to waft a little bit. People are starting to say, I smell shite, and it's getting weird. Release something. We shouldn't have to take your word for it. So I get it, Ryan, but something is just not smelling right. And that's where a lot of people are having a problem. Not that these guys have said this. Yes, there is a problem there. But it's that they have take our word for it. Release it. Transparency. Intelligence agents are much like soldiers, but instead of bullets, they deal in secrets, and where there are secrets, there must be lies. Well, I get it, but this is one thing. These bold guys both ran on transparency, especially with this. You don't get to go in there and... Okay, Ryan, I'm asking you a quick question, bud. Why is it we can't see the file on Epstein offing himself, especially if he offed himself? They could have made redactions of some names by now. That's not hard. You take and scribble out, go, okay, now release this. That's not hard. This should be released if there's nothing to be hinky about. They are causing conspiracy theories. They're causing people to second guess them by doing this, by releasing zero. So that's the problem. This is the same crap with 9/11, with a bunch of other crap through our government. They cause the conspiracy theories and then whine about it. You have no idea what's being saved, and that's what upsets us. We don't know. Yeah, but if you knew about Marilyn Monroe and JFK, if you speak, JFK is impeached. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there would have been a nuclear conflict over the JFK at all. I do not. It's just like I've heard some other pundits say, well, you know what? We couldn't say that Joe Biden was deficient and was in the office and there was a big cover-up because that would damage America. That would damage the fabric of America and we would fall. I say bullshit. That is just total crap. And there's some center-right pundits saying that. It's crap. Actually, it would make America stronger because it would show that we are not letting the corruption happen anymore. It would show the world that we are strong enough to call out the corruption. We are strong enough to stand up against our deep state and our most corrupt. Instead, what we showed America by keeping quiet with Biden, by letting that go, by all these people who just had to protect America by keeping it quiet, what we showed is we are corrupt. The world was laughing. I watched Sky News and a bunch of other news around the world on my VPN as they made fun of us. They thought we were a joke, that we had somehow elected this brain-dead, deficient, mental dude as president and kept him in there. Everybody around the world was asking what the hell's wrong with America that they are keeping a guy that's obviously not in charge in the presidency. Everybody knew. That makes us look weak. And that is why Russia invaded. That's why there's conflicts going around the world. It made us look weak. If we'd stood up, somebody called out this corruption with Biden, we would have looked strong. we would have looked like, don't mess with us, we're not taking BS. But it made us look weak. So that's just me. Let me dig a little more into this. I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. I just cannot stand somebody that runs on transparency, screams it forever, years and years, and then gets in. First thing you do is trust us. We saw it. Trust us. Release it. By the way, Slowburn, I see you out of the corner of my eye. Welcome, buddy.
So who's in charge at the New York FBI field office? Who's withholding Epstein docs from the Attorney General? James Dennehy is running the show there. There he is. This is the guy who emailed his whole staff to dig in after Trump took office.
And
don't forget that James Comey...
By the way, that's sedition. That is the textbook definition of sedition and borderline treason to go up against the President of the United States. Dig in. We're going to say, screw this president, screw his administration, and do the opposite. That man should be under arrest, not gone from there, under arrest. Anybody under him. And if we ever find out they were destroying documents, they should see, definite sedition charges and be in jail. But nobody's ever going to jail. They say there's dirty stuff. Where's the jail time for these people?
Comey's daughter is an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York.
Isn't that convenient?
She worked on the Epstein and Maxwell cases. She's kind of knee-deep in this. Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records, file cabinets, and photographs from all of Epstein.
Which is one of my biggest problems. And this isn't just Bongino and Patel here. This is my problem with Pamela Blondie. She come out and acted like, we've got the documents. Dude, everybody saw the evidence a long time ago when the videos of the whole crap loads, pallets full of hard drives, tapes, the audio and video, documentation, you name it. We saw that were pallets of it. Yeah, she goes, yeah, we've got these 200 documents and that's it. So we're pretty sure. She sat there and told us that they had it all when everybody knew there were pallets full. And then she goes, oh, oopsie, I didn't know there was more. What the hell was that? So, and then we still see nothing. We're working on it. Release something. And now these guys are saying, trust us and sitting on this. So I will be back with you guys in a minute. I just want to get through a little more of this. And
Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department.
Who was running him?
Also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons. Where are those files? You remember where Epstein killed himself?
Yep.
I asked Bill Barr about that.
Why aren't we seeing it?
Everything seemed to go wrong that night.
My problem is, why is it everything around Epstein? Why is that classified? How is it up to the federal government to classify a child predator? Even if he was, let's say he's the biggest child predator in history. That's not under the purview of the federal government. Call it classified and hide it. Unless there is some scurvy shit going on here. That is a problem. How many mass enders of life do you see where they call it classified? You don't. But this guy, classified. Something stinks.
When I first heard all the information and all the coincidences here, I was suspicious.
What were the coincidences?
You should be.
I mean, those were a lot of coincidences.
Well, one of the cameras was out.
Right.
One, 2 or 3 cameras all went down at the exact same time. Exact. And nobody who was supposed to be watching these cameras went, hey, that's weird. The guards are supposed to be awake, all fell asleep or left their posts. Yeah. And just weirdly, the roommate that was in with him was moved out just hours before. Weird.
He was supposed to have a cellmate. The cellmate left. They didn't replace the cellmate.
Moved him
and
2
the
hours
guards who
before,
were
I believe it
supposed to
was.
check him every half hour didn't check him.
My EMT source said he was on the scene immediately to pull Epstein's body out to the morgue. And when he got to the cell, he saw 7 people there touching Epstein's body and moving stuff around.
Yeah, there are multiple people besides Jesse's one source saying that, yeah, when they were early responders there, people were moving the body, doing stuff. They're like, what the hell are you doing? So, yeah, it just stinks. Something stinks. Let me get over to you guys in the chat. Ryan, I kind of agree with you, but there's something that smells. You're right. I have no idea what's being saved and everything else, but my God, they could release something. Something. Thousands of hours of tapes, thousands of pages of evidence and recordings and something other stuff. There should be at least some name coming out. I don't care if it's 2 names. They should have got something by now and released something. I know I keep coming back to that. But nobody can explain to me why they can't release something. Why this? If Epstein truly did off himself, why is that all not out in public? Why are those files that they say, we've seen it, release it? It just smells. No, don't get into the specifics of hypothetical. Just accept the terms of the hypothetical. Nuclear was going to happen. Would you say it? Yes. I don't have the bone in my body. There was not going to be a nuclear war. I do not believe there was ever. Because of JFK. No. But that's a hypothetical. And also with Biden, that's the excuse people are using for, well, we had to keep the whole Biden thing secret. We had to keep the cover-up going to protect the nation. As I debunked a little bit ago, that is BS. It made us look worse. Showing you're corrupt and showing it when the world knows it, that is bad. The world always knew the CIA took out, or our own government took out JFK. It was known. They knew it right away. Hell, Russia was talking about it a day or 2 after it happened. So, I don't think there was anything there. I just don't like how we were promised transparency by these guys. The bulldogs coming into the room, and it looked like they had the talk. The talk consists of, whatever talk consists of, that is not Dan just 6 months ago. Yeah, 100% slow burn. And once again, I'm saying there's a possibility Dan's just tired. Dan is just damn annoyed. He's got to take time off whatever he's doing to do a stupid interview. He should be out busting skulls. Fine. But it doesn't look like Dan. And Slowburn obviously has followed Bongino a long time. I have. It's not a normal look for him to just stiff. That look on his face. Ugh, it's weird. So, I mean, I'm not automatically... I didn't even ask you guys to grab your tinfoil. Now, if you want to get one layer on, that's fine. Sorry. Have some cats doing some stupid stuff back on my shelves. Beautiful. So if you hear stuff fall, it's because my stupid cats are back here. Let me yell at somebody. Hey. Psst. Sorry. She's in there clawing stuff. She's been on a clawing fit lately. So yeah, I just can't cotton the, we promise you transparency, now trust us, we saw it, now just believe us. That's the same crap our government's been pulling for a long time. These guys promise to be different. And the first thing they come out to do together is trust us. These guys are hella tired. I get it, Ryan. I said they could be tired as hell. But it just doesn't look right. And it doesn't smell right to the people who believed in these guys when they just say, we saw it, trust us, but we're not showing you. I would like to ask any of you guys in the chat, why in the name of crap does the Epstein offing himself file have to be hidden from the American public? Why in the crap does our government get to make it top secret anywhere, keep it secret from us? If there's nothing to see, he offed himself, then release it. The fact that they don't release it causes the conspiracy theories. Our government does this, and usually we find out 20, 30, 50, 80 years later that there was something to it. Well, every time they hide something, we found out later, oh, okay, so there was something there that you weren't telling us. Something scurvy. Something dirty, protecting somebody. So I just don't, I want to know why. Hey, Urbexy, and that's just what I'm asking. If the left is saying trust us, and then our champions are saying trust us, maybe we need to trust them. Then show us, Ryan. Then show us. If there is nothing to see, go, here you go. If it's that vanilla, show us. Not showing us does not tell us there's nothing to see. That tells everybody with a little bit of a tinge of skepticism, there's something there. Or they would just plop it down and go, there you go. See, we were right, nothing to see, walk away, over. And it would be. If they released it all, 90% of all the skeptics and conspiracy theorists out there go, oh, well, shit, okay, done. Move on. Then we'd be going, okay, where's the tapes? Where's the list? Where's the names? But this wouldn't be in there. Hey, Rebexy, how's it going? Well, I don't know. Well, Rebexy, I don't know if it will destroy. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? If our government, anybody, is out there protecting child touchers, pedometers, and that stuff, then screw that. They need to be destroyed. They need to be decimated, and they need to face the music for it. If our government is protecting this crap, that right there is a problem. Anybody protecting it needs to be, taken care of also, jailed also. So I mean, they sure had no problem calling out the royal family guy in there, the prince. Whoops. Oof. If they aren't showing us because there is something. That's my point, Ryan, right there. Once again, I never asked you guys to put on any tinfoil. I will tell you, 1 layer, 2 layers, or just get the whole roll out. I am not sold on there's something wrong. I'm just saying, I even said right in my beginning, could be tired, could be worked, could be pissed off. He's not out doing other things he wants to be doing. But it doesn't look like it. Slow Burn even caught that right away. You watch a lot of Dan Bongino, watched him through the years. Seeing him like that is a little weird. Even when he had cancer, the height of his cancer fight, he didn't look like that. Something scurvy. But yeah, Ryan, that's all I'm saying is if they're not showing us, there's something, and that, it worries me. Because if they're telling us there's nothing to see, trust us, but they don't show us, I mean, people who were just interviewed about others, even being named puts you at risk. Don't care. We cannot let that be an excuse, Bexy, not to have justice. Or we could use that about anything. You could use that about a simple robbery. Well, we can't try the guy who robbed the Quickie Mart because the witnesses, just being on the stand and being witnesses, will get them attacked or hurt by this gang's buddies. Then we will prosecute nobody. That lets any criminal off for anything just because, well, this person, it might cause problems in their life or something happen. So let's just let the bad guys do whatever they want. See California. See all the jurisdictions in America where the police will not chase bad guys. Well, for safety. Then the bad guys get away, invariably still get in accidents when the police aren't following them, or go to rob other people or end other people. Yes, accidents can happen during high-speed chases, but letting the bad guy know all they got to do is run and then get away with whatever they want, good plan. Get away and re-offend, yeah! Works really well. Almost every place they do that, it's raised the crime rates. Good plans. But Urbexy, that's what would happen. If you say, well, there could be some repercussions, so we just can't go after them for doing some of the most heinous things in our societies say. Our societies both say, by the way, these are heinous, top-of-the-line crimes. But, hey, let's not go after them because, some other people might get hurt out of this. Nuts. Protect the victims. Nail the perpetrators. It's not that hard. Our justice system does it all the time. We protect the victims all the time. This is no different. There's something stinky. And Ryan, the very fact nothing is being released shows us blatantly this stuff is wildly, wildly important. There you go, Ryan. To keep them secure, I don't like it, but something has happened. Bondi et al. Have found out. Yeah, and we deserve to know what it is. There is nobody, I don't care if it's Donald Trump himself. If he's on these, jail. And I don't think he is. I really don't. Could I be wrong? Sure. Do I think so? No. I don't care. I don't care who's on it. Lady Justice has to stay blind. We have to have the same justice for all, or it's useless. And I know I sound like an absolutist, but I almost am. We can't let people squirm out of crimes this horrid. Because they're upper level, and it may cause a tough time for America, maybe a little. Yeah, that shows we're the beacon of justice. Shows we're kind of wimps. We'll preach it, but not do it. So, let me close that. I don't need some of this open. So, yeah. Let's see. Slow burn. Dan used to say not to trust him. Look into yourself now. He says trust him. This is a message he can't speak. 100%. Slow burn is right. Bongino said that a lot on his show, whether I was listening on the radio or watching on Rumble. He said that all the time. Don't trust me. Don't trust me. Don't trust what I say. Trust what I do. I will show you. Transparency. Yeah, so now he's saying, trust me. Slow burn. Good job. You're right. He said that all the time. By the way, guys, let me know. Is my lighting too bright? This is a lot brighter I normally have it. So, thumbs up if the lighting's okay. Thumbs down if it's a little too bright. Let me know. My second screen doesn't have the same brightness setting as my main screen, so I can't tell. But yeah, slow burn. Boom. Let's see, Rebecca. Was there an executive order regarding their release? Yes. Trump said this will be released. He put out an executive order to release this stuff. And they're all slow walking it at the best. At the best, they're slow walking it. At the worst, they're hiding shit directly. Yeah. And Trump has come out and said in the past, yeah, we know there has to be a redaction. Some things have to be gone through. But yes, he did have an executive order to release it. Just like the JFK files, just like Martin Luther King Jr., stuff like that. He did executive orders to release these. So, yeah. So who's going against it? It's the people in the FBI that were hiding it in the New York office. Comey's daughter, also part of that. Whoever else has been slow walking this and hid this. I don't even know how much is left. It hasn't been, put a big magnet on the hard drives. We don't know. If there's nothing left and nothing damaged, they're up against a crick now because Bondi screwed the pooch in the beginning. She screwed the pooch when instead of just going in, not announcing, going in and seizing all this stuff, she played games. So if anybody did have stuff and they wanted to destroy it, they had a shitload of time to destroy stuff. Oopsie. The whole room had a big magnet in it. Oopsie. There's gaps. Uh-oh, we don't know what happened. Yeah. Oh, darn, that got lost? Oops. Because she played games. They should have sent Patel and some other people in there, unannounced, closed the computers down before they went in, nixed it all, went in, got rid of everybody's passwords, and seized this stuff. But no, we played games. That doesn't even sit well with people, how they played games. Pam Bondi played games. You cannot tell me this great prosecutor woman thought that the little couple files she had was it. And then suddenly, oh, oopsie, there's truckloads of other stuff. After she got caught out. Something smells, and that's the problem. So yes, he did. He did do an executive order. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping I'm wrong as hell that this Epstein offed himself file pops out. Cool. And they show it to everybody and go, okay. And then we move on to going, okay, so where's all the other stuff? Why are you releasing nothing? So, yeah. That's just why I wanted to come on and talk about it a little bit, because a lot of people are pissed about it, and they have a right to be pissed. It doesn't have a good smell to it. So, yeah. And then let's see here. I got to hard out. I got to be out of here in about 35 minutes. But let's take a look at this. Enrique Iglesias. Now, there's another one here. This guy, Lionel Nation, he talks about, it's obviously he was ended. And he lays out all the goofy stuff that happened. So, I mean, phew. But let's just go here and take a look at what Jesus Enrique Rosas, the body language expert, says. The body language of Kash Patel and Dan Bongino doubling down. Yes, Epstein blipped himself. Huh. All right, so let's take a little bits of this. It's from the Jesus Enrique Rosas show. So, yeah.
Well, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were asked about Jeffrey Epstein, and they were adamant that the guy did of himself. But I don't know. I watched the clip, and I have my doubts.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing.
All right, we've heard them say this. I want to hear what he says.
Hard work. But you promote
So hard to just change the subject immediately by editing. But first, before we go into the body language analysis, let's do a recap of all the suspicious circumstances that surround this and how it's so hard to just say, yeah, it's no big deal. We took a look at the file. Well, all this has been confirmed failure.
Well, we talked about the cameras. We talked about all that. So I want to get to what he actually thinks.
Guard was recorded near his cell, was at 10:30 p.m. Was corrupted. There was a apparent shoulder, an injury to the back of his neck. Jeffrey Epstein, and the official thing, the thing that we know, and it's confirmed, it's...
Oh, the one thing I did catch a bit of what he said there, is for the cameras that were still working, strangely, they can't get any footage off them. Why? Because the hard drive system was corrupted somehow. So you have 2 or 3 cameras that went down, and then the hard drive. That's one I forgot till I heard him catch that a little bit there. The hard drive for the rest of them just got corrupted suddenly. That sounds like a virus or a hack or something purposely done. Cameras go down. Conveniently, the only ones were the ones that, hey, got somebody near Epstein in and out without being seen. And then the hard drive system for the rest just gets corrupted. So there's a gap at the perfect time. My gods, buy a lottery ticket if you believe that.
Not to be talking like, you saw Kash Patel and Dan Bongino speaking like that. So we're about to analyze their body language.
I'd like to
remember
see
to
you do
download
that.
my free 100. You can understand.
Okay.
So you can notice the way they actually behaved in all the other questions. It was a Fox News interview, and they were quite,
And like I said, if you want to catch everything he said, go to Jesus Enrique Rosas, the body language expert, and check out the full video. We're just going to skip because I just want to see what he thinks of the body language.
calm and collected and very sure of themselves in all this other.
And in the chat, I'm going to ask you guys a quick question. Whose body language do you think was more off? Patel's? Body language and wording was off more. Patel's or Bongino's? I know which way I think. But who do you think seemed more off or seemed more to go back on what they said in the past?
Other questions about James Comey, about January 6th, about the assassination attempts on President Trump. And I'm going to play 2 clips, very short clips, about how you
utilize who made those decisions. You're getting it. We can only control the FBI, but you're getting it from the FBI.
You notice that there's this very emphatic way of speaking. He's really sure of himself. He ends that sentence with his chin rather up, very sure of himself. He has some illustrator gesture, like he's using his left hand to emphasize his arguments. You see that he is very
Me too,
comfortable
slow burn, 100%.
answering this question in particular. What about...
And honestly, Dan Bongino's reactions is the one that stood out to everybody. A lot of people are going to hell, and the people who say they know him, have met the man, had him in studio, done interviews with him, talked to him multiple times, are going, that's weird. What the hell?
Dan Bongino?
We dug far and wide to find it, and I'm pretty sure now we have a conclusive, definitive answer. but you and the public are going to have it. You're going to see it in
Let's see
writing over to Capitol Hill. But I just want to be sure we're clear, having been an agent and a police officer.
This was about the January 6th
Yeah, this is old.
case. Very confident
I just want to
manner,
get
and
this going. Come on.
People don't believe it.
There.
the first thing that you notice is that Kash Patel laughs. You can hear that in the background, and the interviewer, smiles when she sees him or she hears him laughing. You can hear him in the background.
Committed suicide.
That is him laughing.
Yeah, he did laugh.
Yeah, it's like he took that. Oh, yeah. We cannot know if that was a nervous laughter because it
Can't see
it
his
sounds like
face. All right, keep going.
maybe it's a dismissive laughter. Maybe it's a nervous.
Yeah, he's still talking about the laughter. There we go.
I think that saying, like,
I just want to
for
see
so
what he
many
says.
people that want answers about these heinous crimes and want answers to what happened to Jeffrey, it's like, oh yeah, people are entitled to their opinion.
I'm going to give a little critique of this guy. Hey, I get wanting to make a video that lasts a certain amount of time, but man, you talk about this guy should be a politician. He's just talking about shit that really has nothing to do with what he actually says. We're going to analyze their body language and what they say and blah, blah, blah. But then he goes on about tons of other crap to just drag it out.
Because they can have. I bet you, like, the way that he started was dismissive.
There we go.
I need to be dismissive
My
about this
gods.
right out of the gate. Not even recognizing the fact that there are so many questions and it's a very suspicious case. So that's how he decided to start.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing.
Notice that he is really not answering the question. He is citing his background. He is citing all that he apparently knows about the case. One thing could be, the only thing that could save him in all cases is that he's citing all this knowledge because all this, errors happen all the time with anybody. But we are not talking about any regular cellmate.
No.
Or
No,
prisoner
not at
or
all. That's the
inmate.
thing.
All right?
And I'm telling you right now, if all these coincidences happened all the time, one, you'd have a lot more of these federal super protected prisoners that were being croaked. Oopsied, a lot. There'd be a lot of them somebody would get to and shut up in a lot of cases. And we'd hear about it if this was a rash of this type of crap, level of crap happening. I don't know.
That is one thing. And number two, if this is something that happens all the time, then, well, this is truly a mess. And he could have
We'd hear
said
about
that.
it.
Okay, I can understand people's concern about the Epstein case, but I
come on.
have the experience with that. I
Yeah.
can understand. I have my doubts.
But what do you
can be,
think?
he can connect in so many ways. The only way that he's connecting is trying to, you see that he does that, raising his eyebrows, trying to connect with the interviewer, trying to connect with, trying to connect with his affirmation that he, as a public defender, he turns the question to himself. He is dismissive towards people's suspicions, and then he turns the question towards himself.
Well,
that prison
Alex
system,
Jones
who's
right
been in the
below
Metropolitan
this.
Detention Center,
You can
who's
see
been in
Alex
segregated
Jones'
housing.
statement right here below this I got. Overall, I think Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are doing a great job. But on this claim that Epstein's removal from Earth is not a cover-up, I call bullshit. I agree personally. But here's my problem. Okay, even Alex Jones here, I have a problem. If these guys, let's just say, okay, get the tinfoil, wrap it around twice. Let's just say these guys are scared and let's say they're covering because of fear. What if they got in here, the deep state said, you know what? Hey, we took out a president before. We almost took out this president. We've disappeared a lot of people. We've ended countries. Here's a list of all your friends and family that will suddenly go away over the next 5 to 10 years if you don't toe the line. Like I said, tinfoil. That could be why they're saying this. I did warn you, tinfoil. So, Could that be valid?
You know a suicide when you see one.
See, Bongino just looks so horridly stiff and uncomfortable.
You know a suicide.
This is supposed to be
when
his
you
bread
see
and butter
one.
doing this
All
stuff.
right. Okay. Then we could say that he's got the experience. I'm not going to argue with that. I have no way of arguing with that. What I want.
I will say this guy is as good at obfuscating as any Democrat, as any Democrat congressman is. He just drags, says a lot without saying much.
With is the way that he was answering the questions. Like, yeah, there were, you could say, there were many contradictions. There were many suspicious, coincidences. But he doesn't address any of that.
No.
Okay, you simply know suicide when you see one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess it's that simple.
Finally, this guy made a good point. He's right. He doesn't address all the insane coincidences that had to happen. All the 1 in a trillion things that happened in a row. Doesn't address any of it. Just says, nope, trust us. He ended himself. Trust us. This guy, finally, there was a good point on his part. Jesus got a good point in. He avoids addressing any of the crazy situation around it.
And you saw everything. And
I'll ask you guys, do you think that's a tell or not? Do you think this guy is reading too much into that? Do you think that is valid? That he avoided going through all the crazy, or even mentioning even a little bit, even saying the phrase, well, all the coincidences that did happen, it can happen, or anything like that. He just avoids it. Trust us. He offed himself.
We know that there were no photos of the scene, and there were no cameras, and there were no checkup of him. So it's a bit too, let's say, I don't know how to.
It stinks, is what you're looking for.
Word.
Jesus, you're looking for, it smells funny, it stinks a little.
The word is dismissive, and I don't think that a dismissive answer is the right one here, because, yeah, it's a big case.
And that's what that was.
He killed himself.
I noticed that when Bongino tries to, go for it, he speaks way lower than he used to speak in the previous clip that we saw about January.
Bongino is slow burn. You're going to be with me on this one. And I don't know how much the rest of you guys have watched Bongino or paid attention to him throughout, 10, 15 years. That is very demure for him. That is crazy low key. He talks at a level of energy, even about rough subjects, at about the level of salty cracker. Well, maybe a little lower than that. But no, he's got a lot of that energy. For him to be this, just stare straight ahead. Face doesn't do much. His body is like he's stiff. And if you know Bongino, he moves a lot. He moves his arms, moves his hands. His body seems loose. And he's just stiff.
And after he says that, I'm going to show you there's a very subtle, extremely subtle micro-expression. I mark it so you can see it.
Clenches his lips.
He presses his lips towards his left
I saw somebody else
side,
catch that.
Also subtle.
Kind of
it's very, very small.
like this hurts.
It's there. You see that it doesn't happen with his right side. Okay, it was a very emotional reaction. I always talk about emotional reactions, but the left side of the face is way more, let's say, sincere than the right side.
Half your face can be more sincere than the other side. So I got half of my face that tells the truth and the other half is a liar? That's a weird one for me. Okay. So I'm going to have to look myself in the mirror and figure out which one of them suckers have to keep that face to the camera. Don't want that lion side to get out there.
Of our face, as regardless if you are right-handed or what.
You want me to? I've seen the whole file.
You see how he's answering now? You remember how he was so sure about the January 6th? You're gonna have results. You're gonna have all this, and had this very calm and collected way of speaking. And now he's, hunching. He's stuttering. He is not. Remember that he was nodding, and now he's shaking his head all over the place.
Again, you want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I've seen people in the past do a body language thing, and they say, well, if you're saying that somebody did it, but you're doing this all the time during something, if you're shaking your head back and forth a lot, like you're saying no, it's an internalized thing that you are not telling. If you're saying, yes, this happened as your head is doing this, they say, that's internal, that, yeah, something that could show that you're not telling the truth. So
I've seen they immediately cut. All right, we don't know what happened after this, because I can understand that they edited this interview to make it maybe more dynamic or something, but Bongino's answer was cut short because right after, you see,
yeah,
the captions
they turned it right off
over each other.
They stopped it.
After he says that, oh yeah, he killed himself.
I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work, but
I know it's
And they stopped right there.
hard
in it,
work.
yeah.
Like the connection with the next part of the interview. This is exactly how it was aired on Fox News.
Yeah.
This is how you saw that.
So editing may have played a role in this. See, I'm not here just to say they did something. Editing could have played a role in making this look bad. Maybe if we saw the full unedited interview, it would help a lot. Maybe there's more she asked, more they said, where they did lay things out a little more so there wasn't this. Let's just say, and I agree with you, Slowburn, it doesn't look good, but we'll see. Let's say Fox. Take off one layer of tinfoil. Keep one little layer on. Let's say Fox edited this in a crappy way just to cause a controversy. What if? I mean, I don't trust Fox News any more than I trust anybody else, really. What if they edited this in a crap way to cause this? Aha. How many of you guys, okay, put a percentage in the chat. Percentage. For those of you guys paying attention there, put a percentage. What percent chance do you think there is that Fox News maybe edited this to make it look like a conspiracy theory issue or something? Just curious. Just curious. What percent chance do you think there is Fox News did this on purpose?
Live on TV.
Oh, we're back.
Has absolutely no way of connecting one with the other. As a very poor editing.
Okay.
So we don't know why.
There, he said the editing. I
Bongino's
got to it
answer
for him, yeah.
Was cut short. And we don't know either. We can even
But what's he
acknowledge people's
Trying to skip a little.
doubts and concerns about this case. Okay, it's not that simple. You could say, all right. And Bongino could have said that. Because, well, he made a career about questioning things. And his audience, when he had perhaps the most successful conservative podcast in all cases.
He did. He had the biggest live stream show for all conservatives out there. He was raking in insane money. So I don't want to think Dan would do anything corrupt. And obviously, I'm not saying Dan is corrupt. I'm going back to what I said a little bit ago. What if they got in there and somebody shows up with a piece of paper going, hey, look at this. This is a beautiful picture of all your family. Aren't they just gorgeous? They don't say anything, but that gets the point across. Or they go, boy, that was crazy how part of our government took out a whole president and has started wars. Boy, I wonder how many people that have gone against the deep state have disappeared. What do you think, Dan? Uh-oh. What if? So, yeah. What if they've done that? They've scared, gone in and threatened in a way that even Bongino's got to have a level, maybe not. Some people would sacrifice anything for honesty and truth. Anything. But maybe they found a button issue. I don't know. Like I said, you still got one layer of tinfoil on it. I never told you to take it all off.
Questions. This is a guy that is not enforcing any of that. I'm not saying that he's not enforcing his job. He couldn't be enforcing his job, but the spirit of what made Dan Bongino in recent years is not there. Again.
So he has his suspicions. This guy's body language expert saying that it doesn't seem like the Dan Bongino that we always see and know. So the self-assuredness, the brashness, the animated self. He could be tired, but this guy even has suspicions. I'd recommend you go check out Jesus Enrique Rosas, the body language expert, his whole video. You can find it here on X or his YouTube channel, I believe. But check it out. I just wanted to go through that because that is a worrisome thing. He even says this does not seem to be the guy we've seen. 60% Urbexy says that Fox would edit it crappy to cause a firestorm. Fox would do it if they knew they could get away with it. Someone would call them out, though. So, okay. So then are you editing your 60% back? Because 60% assumes that you think they can do it and nothing will come at them. But this has caused a crap load. If they edited this badly and made it look bad, I think somebody would have come for them. So I would ask you to back your number down. Let's say 40%. How's that? Meet you at 40. I'm wondering if they edited it the other way. When they cut off, as he mentioned, when Jesus here mentioned, they cut that off, right? Part of it, we don't know if there was a little more of his answer. They may have made it look better, actually. That's why nobody's going after Fox. They're going, they kind of helped us a little. I don't know. Slow burn, that's the talking to probably threatening family. Yeah. And they could, like I said, there have been documents come out over a long time. Even old CIA people blew the whistle and stuff in the past. That's what they would do. They would come out and say, they would just tell you right out, that's a beautiful family you got there. Play ball, or over the next 5 years or so, everyone in this picture will disappear or have something happen. Yeah. So, woof. I'm not saying, but like I said, you still got one layer of tinfoil on. So, whew. Ryan, you've been quiet. What do you think? What do you think? Rebecca, if I thought they wouldn't get caught, it would be 80%. Tucker would call them out in a heartbeat. Oh, he would. So you think 60%, even though you're saying that the government would come after them if they did it? I'm thinking 50 to 40%. But yeah, I just, something's goofy. Alex Jones, though what I said a little bit ago. Overall, I think Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are doing a great job, but on this claim that Epstein's deletion from Earth is not a cover-up, I call bullshit. And Alex Jones, you can take him or leave him and keep your tinfoil next to you when you watch Alex Jones at all times, I say. But I'm going to have to ask Alex a question. Let's say they are covering up something on Epstein. Do you still think they're doing a good job? Me personally, Bongino is the one that worries me more than Patel. Patel has been around enough stuff where he has a little politician bone in him. Maybe he just talked big like a politician and then gets in there as he's in now and he can do, whatever. He doesn't have to follow up to his big words and rhetoric. Bongino, though, is the one that worries me because Dan has been he's been a really brutally honest, tough man. Brash, transparency, honesty. Don't trust me here. Always demand. He's said that on his show. Slowburn, I'm glad you reminded me. Don't trust even me. You should have to see the evidence for yourself. But now he's saying, trust me, that does worry me. And I do have to wonder if just tired, bad editing, or, somebody put a fear of multiple gods in him maybe. I don't know. But I just wanted to come on and talk about this a little bit. Anybody watch this later, comment below. What do you think? I've given a couple possibilities here. Jesus Enrique Rosas, the body language expert himself, has some doubts. So what do you think? And please go watch his full video. He gives a lot of breakdown of some of the coincidences. He does miss a few at the beginning for the first 7 minutes or so. For what I wanted to show here, the good stuff really starts right around 7:58, I believe. So check out his video. I will share it to Lyons Den WS6 on X. And you can also find it right here. So, yeah. Other than that, then you got this guy here. Obviously, this is Lionel Nation. He goes through and he really lists all. And I'll put this in the chat here in a second so you guys can look at this. Let me go over here and draw me over part of the screen, since somebody told me that when you go to parts of the, I don't know if it's true, when you go to parts of the, English guys, parts of the dashboard for YouTube, that there's some stuff on there where somebody could get into your stream or take your stream over if you're not careful, if you show that. So, okay, on your capture. But I don't know if that's true, but Urbexy would know. All right, let me go to chat here and put that in. This is the Lionel Nation, so check that out if you feel free. Read that, and then I will see. Can I share this? I don't know how to do that. Oh, there we go. Duh. Same thing. Copy link, and I'll put that in there for you can watch the full video. There we go. There's the two that I was looking at this time. So let's head back over here. Do. Oopsie. I wanted to move that. Boing, 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 and boink. Okay. Sorry about the sound effects. That's me. All right, that is where I want it. So let me see. Urbexy, is that real? Can somebody, if I don't cover some of the streaming stuff on the dashboard, I don't think it really shows anything once you're live. So I don't think, I think that's BS, but Urbexy would know. He's a genius, so I don't think there's anything on there that anybody can get into. So, Texan, what is up, man? The fact that Dan Bongino has changed his stance on this tells me that the powers that be are something we can't fathom, and it's way bigger than what we know. You know, that is one of my possibilities. That is one of my possibilities where I said keep the tinfoil on. Keep the layers of tinfoil on, because that is a definite possibility. Or as Ryan supposed at the beginning, as I even laid out, it's possible there's nothing. But Ryan even said, and so did I, and so a couple other people in the chat said, yeah, but the fact they won't show it to us, and now they're saying, trust us, we saw it, makes it seem like there's something there. And honestly, I'm going to ask once again. I'm going to ask everybody here. Okay. Where does the federal government get off classifying something on a serial pedometer? I want to know that. How is that in the federal government's purview to classify that? And I'm all for protecting the victims. I'm just saying anything. Where the hell? Urbexy, I'm not sure. I think the only thing they could get across with is the key. That's if it showed. Yeah, see, as I was wondering. Once I'm live, like this, the key is gone. It just shows the concurrent viewers and, you know, on my channel, which is small, and stuff like that. And how many people are chatting and stuff. So, okay, thank you, man. So, yeah, Texan, I agree. It could be way bigger, or it could be they're tired. I'm not trying to wear too much tinfoil. Tinfoil costs money these days. But that's why I'm not just saying right out to just automatically assume they're. I wanted to come on and talk about it, see what you guys thought. What'd you think of my thumbnail? I thought it was a cool thumbnail. I was kind of happy with that. By the way, that took prompts. I actually built that with the help of ChatGPT. And AI can help. I usually like building my own, but I thought I'd give it a try and work with ChatGPT, and it came out pretty good. I did add my other stuff, but the main image, they did ChatGPT. Pretty good. Let's see. Urbexy plot twist. The leader of the deep state is Morgan Freeman. Just imagine his voice. What a gorgeous family you have. Oh, my. Sorry, I went back to Sulu. Oh, my. Yeah, Morgan Freeman, man. He's got a voice. Gonna apologize for this in advance. I stole this from a TV show, and I'll bet Urbexy knows which TV show. Maybe Urbexy will know. It's from the UK originally. But Morgan Freeman's got a voice so smooth, it makes men wet. Yeah. I don't know if Urbexy will be able to transfer that to what show I got that from, but okay. He might. But yeah, so we're going to end on just a couple dum-dums here. I got to be out here in about 4 minutes. But they appreciate you guys. And please, anybody that watches later, let me know what you think in the comments below. And I appreciate all you guys for throwing in your 2 cents. In fact, some of you threw in about 24 cents. Much appreciated on that. Because I'm not here just for me. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to know if my brain has wandered off the deep end. So, yeah. All right. What the hell is this supposed to be? Oh, I got to watch the music. I'm going to have to keep this quiet. But what in the absolute crap? Anti-woke memes called it says, what is this look called? I would call it scary. What the hell? Hey, Slowburn. I may be back later. This is just a quick one. I may do a red eye stream later. We'll see, as I do have a lot of things I wanted to talk about. Or I will start doing shorter 1 hour, 1 hour, 15-minute streams and splitting it up and doing multiples and getting a lot of, hey, there we go. I'll put it in the chat. Do you guys want longer 2 to 3 hour streams, or would you like me to split it up during the day, do multiple 1 to 1 hour and 10-minute streams where I actually just do one topic per little stream, or go in and do a long stream and go through a bunch of stuff together? Let me know. Let me know why you stare at this epitome of gorgeousness. A rusty sheriff badge. Okay, Urbexy, I don't know if you got this, but I'm gonna tell you it's Red Dwarf. It's where Cat goes, I got a body so hot I make men wet. Red Dwarf. Oh yeah. Cat, Danny John Jules, I believe. So yeah. I mean, what the hell is that? By the way, you can tell who she votes for because of the double nose ring. Says it all right at this point in time. But yike. Well, okay. I mean, what the hell?
Oh, damn it!
They asked, can you spot the mistake she made here? I'm going to say not putting the fork down. That's me. From your point of view, it would work to spread it through the day, hit new people when they're online. Okay. Well, I'm just curious. I am honest. I don't mind doing long streams. I don't mind doing many short ones when I have time. I just want to know what the people who watch like, because I'm always curious. And these were never designed with that in mind. That's the lady they made the statue. Oh my God. Texan. You know what? You may be right. Why didn't they make the statue in New York more? And doesn't even have to be a supermodel version, but why did it have to be a pudgy one dressed ghetto? I don't understand that.
Damn it!
Yeah.
She's.
You gotta feel bad for her,
Which one?
but you gotta not. I'll tell you a quick story, then we're out of here, guys. All right. Oopsie. Yeah, see, there's no one down there you guys can see. All right, let me pull this up, and we'll be out of here in a second. Okay. My wife and I were at Walmart a couple days ago. And the lady come by. My wife had gone to look for something. I was trying to get some keto chips or something, so I do watch my carbs. A lady in a scooter come down the aisle with her husband. He's pretty in shape, but she is just every bit as large as the girl we just saw. And she's telling him, this is the snacky aisle. Yeah, grab me 3 boxes of those Twinkies, 4 boxes of those cupcakes. Yeah, and I'll eat 2 boxes of these ring dings or whatever they were. Oh yeah, that thing of donuts. The whole cart he's pushing is full of absolute shit. Horrid shit. The basket on the front of her little cart was full of horrid stuff. And I'm sure she's going to be one to, well, I have a problem. You should make a seat big enough for me to sit on an airplane. No. I don't feel for people like that are just eating baskets. And the way she was talking as I'm standing there, this is what she buys weekly. I don't feel for somebody that lets themselves get that large. That is crazy because you're mowing it down like that. Not everybody has that option, but she does. She could maybe try a carrot. But that just drives me nuts when people do that. He should have told her you can eat it when you can reach it. Whoa. Yeah, and the bad thing is this guy, not being gay here, he's a good-looking guy, and he's in pretty good shape. All I can say is she's got to have skills that involve a bowling ball and a garden hose. Because the rest of it, it was cool in that Walmart that day, and she was still sweating riding around in that cart. I mean, really, she was wiping sweat. Yike. When shopping for ring dings and ho-hos makes you sweat, it's over. All right, guys, I hear noise upstairs. I got to get ready, and we got to go to dog obedience. I may be doing a red-eye stream tonight, and maybe just, I may try these just 1 hour and 15-minute streams. We'll see how it goes. Or I'll take it as it goes. All right, guys, that is my phone going, get out of here. Please, if you haven't, hit the thumbs up. Like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here, spending any of your time. I appreciate all your chatting and commenting. It's been fun. I don't get the whole body positivity thing. Yeah. Diabetes and hypertension are real. Yes. So are weight limits for car seats. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thank you very much. It is getting messy upstairs because only 2 dogs are going to class and the third one is going to be very unhappy. See you guys.